Hi, class. So I'm going to be going over section 6, and that is all about architectural drawings. So architectural drawings are tools in the design and construction of buildings and structures. So this could be commercial buildings, houses, bridges, etc. So they provide the visual representation of the building's layout, the dimensions of that building, materials used, systems and processes, and these are used to convey complex ideas to both the builders and the clients. So there are different types of architectural drawings, and these often include floor plans, elevations, sections, details, site plans, roof plans, and reflected ceiling plans. And so floor plans show the layout of rooms, walls, doors, windows, and other elements such as furniture for space utilization. And so these are typically drawn to scale and they're viewed from above. So if we're looking at this building from above and we take off the roof, so we're kind of doing like a horizontal section cut of the building, then we're going to see the location of the doors, windows, furniture, interior walls, etc. And so that's what the floor plan is. And then we have elevation drawings, and these represent the exterior views of the building. So it's going to show its height, materials, and the architectural features. And they are often drawn from the four cardinal directions. So that is north, south, east, and west. And then we have section views. So these are cut through views to show what a building looks like when it's sliced vertically. So it'll illustrate the internal arrangement and height of the rooms and the relationship between spaces. And so there are different uses for section views. Um, a type of section view is interior elevations. That's going to show design details. But then you can also look at section views for things like wall construction and insulation. So different uses for different things. And then we have detail drawings. So these are like zoomed in views of specific parts and areas of buildings. And they are used to show how things are kind of put together or how they're built, similar to the detail drawings in the mechanical drawings, right? But this is more specific for buildings. And then we have site plans. So these show the layout of the entire site, including the building footprint and the surrounding landscape, roads, utilities, and sometimes topographical features. So if there's like an important feature that's at a different elevation, maybe it's a little bit higher or lower, like a tree on a hill or something, that could be shown in the site plan as well. And then we have roof plans. So these illustrate the layout and details of the roof, including slopes, drainage, and any roof-mounted features, such as skylights and chimneys. And then reflected ceiling plans. So these depict the ceiling layout, showing fixtures such as lighting or ceiling fans, HVAC vents, and ceiling finishes. So in this section, in section 6, we're going to be working on a number of these different types of architectural drawings, not all of them, but we're going to work on floor plans, elevations, sections. For us, it's more specifically interior elevations for the sections, site plans, and roof plans. All right, and so all these drawings are then going to be put together along with a number of other drawings, and these are going to be put together in a construction drawing set. So that's going to start with a cover sheet. So this sheet has important project information such as the title, the location, project number, key contacts, and just provides a general project overview. And then it's followed by a table of contents. Then after that, we are going to start with kind of a larger picture of the overall project. So that's like the broader view of the site plan. And then it's going to get more and more detailed as it goes through the document. So then it gets kind of smaller, more detailed, all the way down to details. And then it's going to get into the different components that make up those buildings. So the site plan, that's going to provide the general overview of the entire project site. So it's going to include the property lines, the buildings, access roads, landscaping, utility, and other site features. And then the floor plans are organized by level. So it's going to start with the ground level and then proceed upwards. So if there's like level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. And then there's the exterior elevation views and then section views. So the section views would be the vertical cutway of the building, and that could show the different levels as well. So if there's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you do a vertical cut, it could show all those levels together, but cut vertically to show things such as staircases and just how those levels interact with each other. And then we have detailed drawings. So that's the close-up views and specific information about construction details. And then it goes to structural drawings. So these drawings provide information about the structural components of the building, including foundations, framing, beams, columns, and other support elements. And so these have it has a factor of safety associated with it. So the structural drawings describe how the building's going to be built. It includes important aspects for safety. So this can be things such as wind loads. So how much wind is going to be creating pressure on that building, or earthquake requirements. And so it's going to include things such as the safety elements when they are creating the structural drawings. And then we have MEP drawings, or mechanical engineering and plumbing. And so this shows specific locations for those different aspects. So you can have your ventilation system or your HVAC system, and you would have the ductwork for that HVAC system. And it could show where and how that ductwork is routed. And then you'd have your electrical system. So where the electrical wiring would be routed. And then you have plumbing. So how does the plumbing work for this building? All that would be included in these MEP drawings. All right, and then there are specifications. So written specifications accompany the drawing to provide detailed information about materials, finishes, construction methods, and quality standards to be followed during construction. And then that is followed by schedules. And so the schedule it's a table, and it lists the different types of things for a construction project, such as doors, windows, furniture, etc. And so it would show details such as the size, finish, as well as the quantity and the location of where that item can be found. So if you're looking at a drawing and you need to know, like, what kind of door is this? You can refer to the schedule to figure that out. And you can see, okay, I know it is this size door, it is made with this kind of material, and it has this finish, and it's located in these different places, right? And so this isn't like a time schedule. This schedule shows it's going to be in a table format, and it's going to show the different items and their information on it. And then we had the site and landscape plans. So these plans provide details about landscaping, site grading, drainage, and other site-specific features. And then you have your legal and permitting documents. So depending on the jurisdiction, there are certain legal documents required for the construction of whatever that building is. So they need to comply with the local regulations when they're making this building. And then there's safety and accessibility information, so information related to safety features and accessibility requirements are also included, such as exit routes, fire safety plans, and compliance with accessibility standards. So, accessibility requirements, this is to ensure that the building can be accessed by anyone, including people with disabilities. And so, different buildings are going to have different requirements for that. The requirement for a house, for example, is not going to be as strict as the requirements for a commercial building, usually. All right, and then any miscellaneous documents will follow that. So, other documents can include demolition plans, if any, as-built drawings, and any other relevant information necessary for the construction process. And so, as-built drawings, these are the set of drawings or documents that show how a building was actually built, including any changes made during construction. So, somebody might have given the builder a set of drawings that say, build it this way. But it may not have been built exactly how it was stated in that initial set of drawings and documents. So this could be for a number of different reasons. Maybe they have different methods of building, or maybe they ran into some sort of issue and they had to pivot on the spot and so they could get the work done. And so if that's the case, they would then create uh, another set of documents. So they would document the changes and they would create the drawings to show how it was actually built. So these are going to be the as-built drawings. Okay. All right, and then I'll go ahead and go through these assignments individually. And so there we have it. Section 6 is all about architectural drawings. All right, thank you.